Hey guys, it's Lainey, and today I'm doing another book review. Surprisingly, it is my second fantasy book in a row I'm doing a review for, and today I am reviewing The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. I'm just trying to make you guys read this book, so I'm going to use a video's worth of words to talk to you about why you should pick up this book, because I loved it. I rated it a 5 out of 5. It is a fantasy book. I don't know what's going on with me. I need to read a dystopian like ASAP because I have seriously not read one all month. Literally, I have not read a dystopian all month. So this book, let's start with the map on the inside. How cool is that? Posted on Twitter, I'm getting more and more used to opening up books that have the maps in it. So when I opened this book, I couldn't even be overwhelmed by the map because I was intrigued, and it's actually a very beautiful map. I was continuously going back to it, but not out of confusion, out of curiosity. When places were mentioned and lands were mentioned, I had to see where they were and figured out like where our characters were in the story. This story follows Princess Leia, who on her wedding day decides to run away because she doesn't know the prince she's marrying and she doesn't want to be married off to someone and go to a distant land. So instead, her and her best friend, who's one of her servant maids, they go the day of the wedding and they leave. Leia is also the first daughter, and first daughters in households in this kingdom that she lives in, first daughters evidently could have the gift, and some first daughters have the gift and others do not have the gift, and Leia believes she does not have the gift. She's being married off to the Prince of Dalbrek to form an alliance with her kingdom of Morrigan. In the process of going to the new city of Terravan, Leia and her maid Pauline start working in a tavern as waitresses, and two strangers come to town. One of them is the prince and one of them is an assassin sent to kill her. The story is told in 3 point of views. It is told in Leia's point of view predominantly because it's her story, but we also get insight into the prince and the assassin. There's two characters, Rafi and Kaden, and you don't know which one is the assassin or which one is the prince. When I found that out, I knew I was gonna like it. I decided to buy this book after I saw Jacqueline from J Book Lover haul it, Shannon hauled it, Riley hauled it, Jillian hauled it, so I had to get it. I read it in a day and a half. At first, I was unsure if it could be told in 3 point of views and not knowing if Rafi or Kaden is the assassin or if he is, what other one is the prince. And it's very hard to guess who is who because both the prince and the assassin have extensive fighting, combat, and military training, so you honestly cannot guess who is who. There are times when I thought this one is definitely the prince, and then the other times I'd be like, wait, those characteristics in that narrative sort of fit with the assassin, so this guy's gotta be the assassin. It was literally back and forth, back and forth. I could not figure out who the prince and who the assassin was, and that's why I love this book so much, because it was a refreshing take on kind of the princess assassin prince sort of storyline, and as the reader I really enjoyed that because it was a great mystery as well as a fantasy book because I wanted to know who was who, and I didn't for pretty much mostly over halfway the book. You don't find out who is who. Even after you find out who is who, the story takes a completely different direction in what I thought it was. It's like it's so great, and I don't want to give anything away. I just want to tell you guys that you guys should read this if you enjoy fantasy. Of course you'll like it if you're like me, who's still coming onto the fantasy scene. I think you would really like this book too. I think you'll like it if you liked Throne of Glass. I think this is a good novel to read if you liked that. I really liked Leia as a narrator. There were times where I felt distant from her, but there were times when I felt extremely close to her, and I was able to like relate to the things that she was thinking. And I liked her independence. She is totally bomb towards the last half of the book. Her sass is on point, and I love sassy heroines, and Leia towards the end was definitely one of them. The ending The ending was like a knife to the gut, where there's hope if you don't pull out that knife, but if you pull it out, it's horrible. The ending was extremely great. When I was reading it, I didn't know if this was going to be a trilogy or a series or what it was going to be, but by the ending, you know it's going to be, at least there's going to be at least another book in the series, because I don't want to say it ends on a cliffhanger, but it kind of does. It felt very definitive of like an episode arc where it ends and you know there's more to come, so you have to wait till next week, except this one I'll have to wait till next year. And what made it really, really enjoyable for me was the point of views of different chapters. While Laya's is very obvious, some chapters would be titled The Prince, some would be titled The Assassin, and some of them would be titled Caden or Rafi, and that was so stressful in a good way, in a very good way, because you're just trying to figure out who is who, and that is probably 80% why I loved this book, because it was a guessing game, and I liked going into this book not knowing the outcome. I know it can kind of be seen as a love triangle, but because we don't know which guy is which title, it makes the love triangle very interesting and not very of the norm. And I can honestly say I like both Rafi and Caden equally after reading this. It's going to be very hard for me to choose which team I would rather be on, because I like being on both teams. I really like both of them as characters, and I think I wouldn't have liked that as much if I would have known which title each guy held going into the book. So it was very refreshing learning about them that way than knowing what their titles were right away and knowing who was good and who was bad. Yeah, that was my quick review on The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. If you have read the book, let me know down below, and if you plan on reading it, let me know, because I want to talk about it with people. So I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys later. Bye!